Well, that's the reason they claim they can't negotiate with the drug companies, that we can't have health care for all, you know, that to where there is more fair systems, to where women's health care, abortion is part of women's health care. I know everybody's made a dirty word out of the procedure that women, it's not a popcorn festival, people. We're not lined up going to have fun, you know, like they try to make it sound. My daughter, according to these people and according to the law that is in West Virginia right now, my daughter would have been dead. She's had 2 tube legal pregnancies. The second pregnancy plumb blew out the tube. Her 3rd pregnancy, I was watching her die from her heart failing. She had to have open hearts. She's had 2 open heart surgeries. She's got a mechanical valve. The same time she found out about her heart, she found out she was pregnant. I was watching it suck the life out of her day by day. But according to them, I'm supposed to let my daughter and a fetus that has never took a breath, that is not even formed, die. You know, because, you know, I'm supposed to let my daughter die because of y'all's opinion, or your religion, old white man's opinion, you know. No, this is about women's health care. We have problems and we have to have things that they know absolutely nothing about. And I want them to know that a pregnancy, we are not incubators. It affects your mind, your chemicals. It affects so many different things. And you're trying to make little kids go through it that has been raped by their uncles or their neighbors or whatever, disabled women that's been raped. You want to make them go through that. I mean, it is just immoral what they have done. And then Patrick Morrissey, our district attorney, he's trying to get that 100-year-old law to stay, to back. The only reason that the only thing that stopped it was a female judge that just voted to stay it. But they ain't even addressed that. We're back to a 100-year-old law that prosecutes and puts you in prison for 10 years if you have an abortion. I mean, what the courts did without not even no thought to the repercussions of what it was going to do and what was going to happen.
So with your daughter, if this would have happened to her now,
she'd be dead. She'd be dead. Yeah. She'd be dead. And I mean, these extremist views that they're trying to put into laws and into policies is no better than the Taliban. We spent trillions and we've lost, look at the soldiers, the men we've lost and maimed and everything, fighting this same kind of thing that y'all were trying to put on us and make into laws, into policies now. And then you just, and the Republicans, they just get so propaganda, they just get so manipulated that I just keep hoping that the more truths that keep coming out, the more people that stand up, the more of them that'll look at their own kids that are suffering, that'll look at what their own, you know, what's happening that's what's really happening. And this selfishness, this me, the good for all, the better for all, justice for all.
You know, it's also, I think this Republican extremism, which if it's up to them, we're going to be back in medieval times. Yeah. They're able to get away with it because they don't really have an opposition. I think there's a lot of conservatives in West Virginia, elsewhere. Okay, yeah, they're big on guns and all this other stuff. I think if they had a populist alternative, remember Bernie won every county here in 2016. If they had somebody say, we're going to give you universal health care and we're going to fight for it, we're going to give you paid sick leave, we're going to actually spend, we're talking, we need $10 trillion on climate, not $300 billion or whatever nonsense they were talking about. If they had somebody speaking to the issues that we've been speaking about, I don't particularly think the Republicans would do so great in places like this, because I've met plenty of conservatives that care about these things, economic. Can you kind of talk about, they keep saying, oh, well, this is a Republican place. Maybe it is now, but it wasn't it was a Democratic state for a century. Can you kind of talk about, I think people drift to the right because they don't actually have a populist left economic justice party to vote for.
I agree. And that's why we're having to, not in just in my state, there is a lot of states that are doing the same thing, that are getting in there and saying, we are sick and tired of this, we got to be conservative, we got to be moderate, all this, these name-calling kinds of things. We need our leaders to stand up, to be loud and proud, and to have principles. No, I don't expect my leaders to win every battle, but I expect them to fight like hell to try to get what is good for the people, what is good for good policy, what is going to uplift us, what is going to invest in us. Yeah, you might not get it through, but I'll have more respect for you that you fought like hell for it than that you laid down and compromised and you ended up with us something worse or nothing, you might as well say, But I agree. The Democratic Party, we have to get our voice back. And we have to and these people that is just part of the same, you just might as well say they're all just one big old party up there living on us. They all have to go. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. They have to go. We have to have new people. We have to have people that are willing to have morals, integrity, fight, spirit, have principles that you will fight for. There is some principles I have got that there is no compromise on. I want leaders that are that same way, that are going to fight for me, that are going to look out for my back like they're supposed to. We give them these positions to look out for us, to cover our backs, not to join in with the crooks.